Hey, welcome to Moss Models and Mistakes. I'm Tom. Been working. What's behind me? Not much, but it's working. Oh, oops. That's the distributor. And that's the motor. I got that red is awfully bright, but it did say it was red. I know it looks dumb, but that's a Fram oil filter. I put a little bit of black on it, hopefully with the headers on there and in the car and everything, it'll just look maybe, oh look, that's a Fram oil filter because it's a little thick with some black in there. But I don't know. But anyway, that's as far as I've gotten. And well, when that dries totally, I'll stick that in. That is onto the belts. The pulleys and the belts. And then the headers. And the headers are plated. Drive assembly, belt assembly, pulleys are black, the belts are flat black. Then it gets into what makes an engine. Really good, I can't wait. This is I'm taking this step by step. I mean, there isn't a laptop out there that I haven't worked on that's missing screws, you know? So, it still worked. But, and besides, they're all out of date by now, anyway. Anyhow, this time, I don't want any extra screws left over. I want to do the model the way it's supposed to be, so join me in my journey. Just kidding. Let's see. Well, like I said, I have the motor and stuff going for this. I have paint coming for, for this. And I believe, wow, I don't know. It's either going to be a really pretty light blue. In my head, I see robin's egg blue. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't. I have a an orange metallic. I have a red sparkle. I have a green, red sparkle, red metal flake, and a green metal flake coming. They're from, oh my goodness. Testers, I believe. But, since the other models have been relegated to cleanup status. Oh, you're in there. Okay, I was looking for the Impala. That's still in line. So it might be by the time I get to the Impala, I'll be putting some green metal flake on there, maybe. I don't know. But that's where I'm at right now. I've got like 4 or 5 paints coming. Oh, I have a sunshine yellow. That would be interesting, but then it looked like another taxi. I can't have a taxi and then, I'll have my taxi sitting there and have another car that's the same color yellow. It's not, it'll be brighter. Although that yellow would look good on that, is it a DB5? Yeah, the Aston Martin DB5. They look really pretty. Actually, I'd like to use it on the Opel GT from Hot Wheels. I had a friend of mine. It had 12 cylinders. I know it did. I'm sure of it. But there was Opel GT and it was yellow. it was older. It could have used a paint job, but it was, what a car. It was something else. And I say, what a car. To me, it's the shape. You know, listening to the motor when he starts it up and everything else. I swear it had 12. It was a 12 cylinder. I should look that up. I could be lying on that one, not intentionally. But yes, and I'm sure he still has it if he's still alive. That guy is, if nothing else, meticulous. See his face now. Nice guy. Really nice guy. I say I helped him work on it. I kind of looked at it while he did stuff. I did help change a motor in a Vega. I want to say it was, you know, it was a 74 Vega and it was green. And I helped him change the motor out. A friend of mine, Bob Brewster, and his father-in-law was somebody in Detroit, a bigger wig in Detroit. And he was really, really good guy. Really good guy. Bob Brewster. Sergeant Brewster. Yeah, I liked, there are a lot of friends I would like to have kept. There was one friend I had that I hadn't seen him, and I still haven't seen him since, well, January 1983, when I got out of the service. And when I got out of the Marines, I had problems with the car and stuff, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford it. I had a Volkswagen Bus, so I sold it back to the Volkswagen place, and I got like a check for like, you know, $1 something or whatever back. I was like, what are you talking about? And it had been in an accident, but it was fixed right there and painted, and the side had faded out and stuff. And he said, well, that paint job is terrible. And he said, well, that paint job was done here. Here? Yeah, well, you should have brought it back. Yeah, damn right I should have, but I didn't, and I screwed myself out of that. But anyway, I got a ride home. That's what I got out of that. But I didn't have a car, and I was getting out of the service in a few days. And Bob Klenotis, what a guy. You know him, he's a hell of a guy. He said, I know where you can get a car for, and I think it was maybe $500. And I was like, seriously? He said, yeah, but it needs a motor. And I go, but I know where it can get a motor. It was a big 400. It was I want to say 74 Mercury Montego station wagon. It was huge. It was awesome. And it had a 400 in it. And he said, and I'll help put it in. He said, for $50, I'll put it in for you. Well, I helped him, if anything, but stand there looking and gawking. But and he did that, and I said, man, I don't have the $50 to give you. I got to get home, and I don't know what. He said, I'll trust you. He said, just send it back. You know, send it when you get it, kind of thing. And I was like, all right, man. And he sent me off, and that car lasted quite a while. And we put it in, test drove it like a quarter of a mile, and then loaded it up, and I headed from North Carolina to Vermont. And it went to Vermont. I say beyond, but I finally had to get rid of it. But anyway, point of this is, it bothered me since then that I hadn't been able to pay him that $50. Whoops, hitting stuff. And so finally I got in a position where I could do something about that. And that was, I don't know, about a year or so ago. Anyway, it hit me that I could look him up and see what he did since he was in the Marines or whatever. And fortunately, he was in the same area when I left him, and he had retired as a master sergeant or master whatever it was. He was a great guy. So I got his address and everything, and I just did up a little letter and sent a check out for $200 and said, I am sorry this is so late. I don't know if you remember, but this is what you did for me, and I'm finally feeling like, phew. So thank you so much. Take care, Bob. And that was it. And I got like all this tension. Every now and then I would think about it and feel awful. Because I couldn't get it to him. I couldn't figure out how to, well, who can't come up with $50 and send it to somebody? I didn't even know how to get a hold of him after a while. So anyhow, yes, Bob can trust me. That's the story. But that's what I got going on the model. Paint gets here in a couple of days. That'll be cool for a number of models. But oh, there it is. That one. But he hasn't had the cleaning. She hasn't had the cleaning experience yet. So, all right. Well, thank you for watching, listening, waiting for me to get through my mumbly jumblies. And please, if you could, subscribe. If you can't, don't. That's okay. But stop by when you can. I appreciate a like or something like that, but not necessary. I just like to see that somebody stopped by. Have a good day. Have a really Merry Christmas. It's just starting up, and I'm just starting to try to get in the mood. I might do it by buying a bunch of models for other people that will give them back to me. That makes sense? Sort of. Okay. Oh man, did I make a mistake? My wife said, oh, by the way, if you want to get me anything for Christmas, get me more underwear. I need more underwear. I said, okay. So I got on the site, saw what she wanted and everything, and there was a couple different kinds, and I don't know how I did it, but I got, well, it adds up to 15 pair of underwear coming, right? 15? No, 3. She's got 3 packages of one brand, 5 packages of another brand, 2 of another. It's, I told her there was a box we had, one of the kids' gifts came in, and I said, save that box because we may have to return a lot of stuff. She said, okay. So we don't know. I don't know. I looked down and said, you're delivering what on one day? And I started counting up all the packages of underwear I seem to have ordered. But when you say, what I learned, I think, is when you say add to next delivery, and you're pretty much locked in, except for when you get it, then you can return it. You can't cancel it. I don't read the small print, fine print, little print, itty bitty, tiny print. Although I can read it now, corrected to 2020, which is weird because last year they could only correct them to 2025 or 2520, whatever it is. And this year when they corrected them, it's like, oh, these are perfect. Why did that happen last year? I don't know how that works, but somehow my eyes got better. Cheers. I might practice airbrushing that, see if I can't. Don't worry about the airbrushing. Anyway, thank you very much for showing up. Take care. See ya. Had a great time. Hasta mañana. I don't know if that's how you say it. I just knew that as a kid. Take care. Bye.